Hello and welcome to the Wrestling Corner, episode 17, with me, your host Rowan, and my co-host Simon. How are you today?
Yeah, dude, all right. It's been a pretty average week.
Yeah, I was
In wrestling.
we were talking about in terms like this week there wasn't stuff going in wrestling, but scrolling through a couple of the shows, more AEW shows, there was a bit more stuff. NXT and the main WWE shows, nothing. But we have got NXT Takeover this weekend, so we'll be doing our predictions later on. But we might as well just go straight into it with AEW. So the show started off with a six-man tag team match: the Young Bucks and Broken Matt Hardy against Private Party and Joey Janela. Um, have you watched AEW?
Yeah, I watched it sort of
I
Thursday.
really enjoyed this match.
I didn't watch too much of this match.
Pardon?
I think I was just like getting sat down or something, but I can't remember much from it apart from just seeing Mark Quinn walk away at the end.
Yeah, it was just a typical. Well, Young Bucks and Private Party have already wrestled, haven't they? It was like that, and then you've just got Matt
Yeah,
Hardy and Joey
Private Party
Janela
got
in
the
them.
upset.
Yeah, it was very typical. Then two tag team match with Joey Janela and Matt Hardy. But after the match, I think it was Mark Quinn who got injured. Who was injured, started walking back. With
Well,
Matt
the
Hardy
thing
went back with him.
I thought it was shoot, yeah, but then obviously Matt Hardy went back, and then that allowed FTR to sort of get the Young Bucks on the rope.
Hmm
I don't know. No, because they
So,
didn't attack the Young Bucks in the end. I don't know.
yeah. So Matt Hardy and everyone just leaves the Young Bucks. The Butcher and Blade run in, start attacking
Yeah,
the Young Bucks. I suppose you need someone to sort of make the save on an attack. And then all of a sudden you hear sort of a car revving. It cuts to a camera, and you look at the thing, and I'm gonna have to get Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood. There we go. Which aren't bad names. They sort of fit the character a little, a little bit.
they're quite sort of mid-80s.
Yeah, they come out in the car. They look like they do. Came out, attack Butcher and Blade, sort of tease hitting the Young Bucks, and they don't. They leave. They drive out, and it's that the tweet has finally come to life. One day we will wrestle the Young Bucks, and they did.
Yeah, not yet. Are we going to
Not yet.
save it for All Out, do you think?
Yeah, definitely. They'll save it for a big pay per view.
They've got to save it for fans as well.
So they are called the FTR. Currently, they haven't actually got a name. Like people saying Fear the Revolt. There's a couple of other ones they've tweeted out, but I think they're just being known as FTR. Hashtag FTR. Sorry.
I don't like the name.
I like it because it's got the history of fuck the revival, which they've had for ages on being the elite. It sort of fit.
Maybe it's because I'm far from being the elite connoisseur, but yeah,
No,
not for me.
it was when the Young Bucks and the Revival went on Twitter beef. There was a thing and just Cody Rhodes in the middle of the ring after a Ring of Honor just went "fuck the Revival," and it just became a bit on the show, and different people would say it. And then eventually they got a cease and desist from WWE, and so they'd always have to bleep the Revival part, and then they had a whole joke about what FTR meant. It was a whole thing. It was a whole thing. If you watched,
Yeah, I remember it going on Twitter. I just never paid too much notice because I just thought like until they're out of WWE, there's like not going to happen. So
no. But the fact they've actually debuted in AEW, and we all knew they were going to AEW. It's just a matter of time. And I suppose best time to debut straight after a big pay per view. Try capitalize on people tuning in. If they see on WWE fans see on Twitter, oh FTR debuted, I might tune into this show now. And also,
yeah,
especially what's happening.
the problem is if you are a WWE fan, you're not gonna go, oh yeah, it's the Revival. You're gonna think, look at those mid carders, look at those jobbers,
Yeah.
and then you'll come back to shaving backs and Uzi Hot and
Hopefully the fans who watched them in NXT and then hopefully because they are some of the best matches. I mean, that's our main event in terms of
oh yeah, they
what
did.
the favorite takeover pay per view. But if you think about the tag team match, AOP, Tommaso Ciampa and Gargano and Revival, I'm pretty confident weren't it.
And American Alpha.
American Alpha as well, yeah. Like the NXT tag division has been great.
Yeah, it's a little bit. It's not quite what it once was, but
No, They
It's
slowly need to build it up. Like
yeah.
they do. But then we had Brian Cage defeating Lee Johnson, a jobber, with Moxley on commentary, just hyping up the match. 5 Fs, obviously, Brian Cage won the ladder match at Double or Nothing. And so, just a easy hype match. Brian Cage
What?
was great. Taz was obviously there for his new.
Who can stop the path of Cage? What is it he says? Something like
No,
stop him if you can.
I'm not going to try to do the accent.
Survive if you let.
That's Brian Cage, the Machine. Beat him if you can, survive if he lets you.
That's the one. That's really cool.
Taz is great for this role, by the way.
I didn't realize how small he was. Like I've never seen him standing up.
In fairness, look who he stood next to. Like,
well, yeah, but he's a very dense man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After this, we did have Rebecca. She came out addressing her injury. It was time for the rules of being a role model. Rule number 3 was don't hurt the role model. And basically said last week's tackle after a broken tibia was not an accident, it was a conspiracy. It was a 3-on-1 attack plan for months. If does start AEW, Chris Stanley, you being alien is crock. She'd have broke my nose. Fraudulent champion, cheater, conspirator. Nyla Rose, she couldn't have guided herself away from my fragile face. Conspirator. A web of conspiracy all centered around the brains of the operation. AEW referee Aubrey Edwards. Coincidence that she was there every time I was injured. You have to be put on notice. You tried to take me out, but the joke's because I will be back at All Out. I quite enjoyed this.
Yeah, it got an audible laugh from me when she said that Aubrey Edwards was at the heart of it. I hope she doesn't have a match though.
I don't think she will, but I quite enjoy this whole conspiracy thing because she has been the pillar of AEW, but she's been injured so much. It sort of the women's division that is not AEW. It sort of fits into sort of her gimmick, and I'm hoping it might lead to maybe a stip match where Aubrey Edwards is obviously going to be the referee. There might be some shenanigans in there. So I quite like Aubrey Edwards as a referee. She's very vocal, which you don't get with a lot.
Yeah, she has good moments and bad moments. Like a referee's not meant to make it about themselves, and sometimes she's in danger of doing that.
Well, in fairness, I think a lot of
she treads on that line quite carefully, but she just remains.
A lot of AEW referees do have that. Like Rick Knox gets super kicked.
Yeah, it's good that referees have a bit of personality, and you can like look at them and identify them, and like the fact that they have a name. Whereas in WWE, like if you're a referee,
you only notice it. You're like John Cone. I know.
They're all just robots.
And the seriously tanned guy, Drake Wirtz. Yeah, because he's great. But like, I could probably, I can name 3: Bryce Remsburg, Rick Knox, Aubrey Edwards.
I think that's it, isn't it?
There's one more, I think.
Oh, Earl Hebner.
Is Earl Hebner an official referee?
Sure he is.
Can't bear. Hold up. I'm on the roster now. Hold up. Roster.
No, it's not Earl. Sorry. There's another Hebner. Is it Brian Hebner?
Earl Hebner. It is Earl Hebner. It's Paul Turner's the other guy, the other random referee.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, it's Aubrey Edwards, Bryce Remsburg, Earl Hebner, Paul Turner, Rick Knox.
Got it.
I'd like to say a shout again with Dynamite. Shout out to Austin Gunn and Big Swole. Austin Gunn, I hope he gets something from being the crowd member because he's him and his dad have been the only people who've been massively vocal in like the crowd. Like all of them have been, but like he's always trying to get involved, and I like that. Same with Big Swole at Double or Nothing. So
yeah, he brings a lot of life to it. Like I was watching Raw Talk before this, and it only really hit me then how, like, even when the show's finished and Seth Rollins was coming out for Raw Talk, and the Performance Center trainees were like booing him, and like they're all just they're like the AI on a WWE game, and they
said boo. Okay,
they don't feel like real people.
No.
And then you look at Austin Gunn and you look at Big Swole, and it's like it's people, it's characters, it's
them. They're wrestlers. They're still in the like. I know it wouldn't work in NXT because, like, you had the Horsewoman there. You had, I'm trying to think of other wrestlers. Malcolm Bivens sort of works. He could be scouting. I'm trying to think who else was there
Well,
that.
if Malcolm Bivens was like booing Seth Rollins, like Malcolm Bivens is meant to be
A heel.
the dastardly manager of Indu Share.
He
Like
should be.
cheer
He should be
about the guy, man.
But then you have people like, I think it's Luke Menzies, Rich Holland. Rich Holland. He shouldn't be there. He should be this hard nose. Shouldn't care
Yeah,
about.
I'm surprised Ridge Holland's there. To be
I
honest,
thought he was NXT UK.
he is, but like he's being built as like a big player in NXT UK, like a big player.
I'm very confident he's from where I'm from, Halifax. If not, he did play for Halifax rugby league team.
Oh yeah,
If
he's
not,
from round there.
Luke Menzies, I'm finding out. Where's he from?
But I think it's like Wakefield or something.
Liver's Edge.
All right, okay.
Yeah, please.
This will mean like nothing to anyone listening.
No.
This is really niche West Yorkshire towns.
I think he did play for Halifax, though, so I could be let off there. But yeah, fair play. Okay, we'll go back to AEW though. We had sort of not another squash match, but Akira Shida versus Christy Janes. Again, back and forth. James looked strong. She kicked out of 2 running knees, but then Shida hit a Falcon Arrow and picks up the win. It's one thing that I think AEW have got a lot is their jobbers are sort of can put up a fight, which sometimes is their detriment.
I mean, that's how Anna Jay got signed. I mean, the only jobber to ever get signed off of the back of what they've done in WWE is James Ellsworth.
Yeah.
And he didn't get any offense, and that's just because he was a meme.
He was joke, yeah. I still have that James Ellsworth. Do you remember the James Ellsworth t-shirt with his face in the middle?
Yeah, I went back and watched that match the other day. It's really quite good.
The main thing is he won the first ever women's Money in the Bank. Technically.
Yeah, see, that's the kind of stuff that needs to be forgotten.
Yeah. We go back to think this. We had another in-ring interview with Cody. Cody came down to interview by Tony Schiavone. Tony, do you know why Tom Brady's my favourite quarterback? Tom Brady was not first picked, yet his legacy endured. I am the very first champion of America's greatest network. If you think my story is one of favoritism or nepotism, think again. I paid my dues and grew up right in front of you. My mother told me everything I need to know about grit. You can have all the talent in the world and you can shove it up your ass. If you stand next to me on track, I will outwork you. If you are someone who is critical of me from bell to bell, watch what I do next. Watch the pace I set. I will stand here every week on TNT. This is an open challenge. It is my obligation to give you, the fans, my best. So follow me. This is where the fun begins. He did a really nice line which I enjoyed where he said, Dustin got all the Dusty genes. I got my mother's genes. And I like that because he is always known as Dusty's kid. And I like the way he sort of not relying on that, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
But also the open challenge, he said on Twitter, is open to anyone. So people that are not signed, which basically means some former WWE guys are gonna be on it, getting that shot right.
Yeah, it sounds. Well, I mean, do you reckon it'll just be like the AW Dark people?
Maybe
like
yeah.
Alan Angel.
I think that might be like Cody might appear on
like Jeff up again.
Yeah, people be saying Matt Cardona. Like so he.
Yeah, but
before he debuts, possibly if he doesn't get signed, he's gonna get signed.
I'd quite like it to be like just like indie guys though, and like if they win, they get signed.
I'd like that, but I wouldn't like it. Oh yeah, if they win, sorry, if they win the title. Yeah, I thought you meant like if they.
Yeah. If you can't just have like everyone, so like
because that could work well.
It's a little bit like the Drake Maverick thing. Like Drake Maverick needs to win the title in order to get re-signed.
Yeah,
I think it's real stakes.
It could work with the debuts though, like Jeff Cobb. Jeff Cobb comes down. He's already had experience, but like he just beats Cody. He's the champion. He gets given a contract there and then, and so that's how you get him in and like make him look dominant.
I can't really think of many other guys right now.
On the Indies, Marty Scales the only one that is under contract.
Yeah, apart from like the WWE guys, like I'd love to see Handsome Miro versus Cody.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I was watching him last night. He was streaming COD Warzone on Twitch. He is absolutely dog, but he loves it.
I've not watched any of his streams.
He's very it's just himself, which is
Yeah.
funny. But yeah, what we're doing, Flip Gordon possibly. But I know I think he's recently just re-signed with the Ring of Honor, so I doubt we'll see him. There are rumors that Marty Scurll is trying to get a working relationship between the two companies because
Yeah.
obviously he's mates with them.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah, it would.
That'd be awesome.
I think he's one of the wrestlers I really want to see, just because he's a British guy like Jimmy Havoc, who is known to the British audience, sort of because they not need to improve. But right, do you know AEW? Is it still on ITV?
Yeah, as far as I know.
Because I haven't seen any promotion for it.
You not?
No, on ITV
No, I've
show.
always presumed it's gone on ITV before.
I don't know. I just haven't seen it before. I just presume that it's not on there.
All right.
We'll move on. We had a tag team match. So the winners of this match, SoCal Uncensored, SCU, versus Jimmy Havoc and Kip Sabian with Penelope Ford. The winners get an AEW World Tag Team Championship match next week on the Dynamite against current champs Hangman Page and Kenny Omega. The winners of that match will go to face best friends at Fighter Fest. I think they said. I don't know how best friends got a shot. I can't remember if they
They beat Private Party.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, that's why. And it was Kip and Havoc who picked up the win, which I think definitely surprising considering it's SCU. But after shenanigans by Penelope Ford, Jimmy hit a Michinoku driver on Scorpio Sky. Nice matchup. Before I don't think we've seen Kip and Havoc versus Page and Omega.
Kip's absolutely money. Like he's
great,
a mega star waiting to happen. Maybe I'm biased because I saw him on the Indies in the UK quite a bit.
Yeah.
But since he got to AEW, sorry, what?
I was saying, for me, someone who hasn't seen him outside of AEW, I like him. He's insane. He's charismatic.
I'm more impressed with him now than I was when he was just doing like English, like UK indies.
Generic indie
like the whole Superbad thing. He's just. I mean, he was doing that before, but he's come alive with Penelope Ford, and I've never really quite got Jimmy Havoc, and I know that's a terrible thing to say.
He's a guy who just likes to take damage.
Everyone loves Jimmy Havoc. Yeah. Not good, but sooner or later, Kip's got to break out.
Yeah,
as a singles guy.
He'll definitely turn on Jimmy because Jimmy Havoc can, I think, be heel or babyface. So I can be heel of just look at him, the dastardly man bleed himself, or look at him, he's doing this to win a match. It works both ways. But yeah, great results though will be Havoc and Sabian versus Page and Omega next week. We did have the Dynamite Battle Royale next up. I can't remember all the competitors. I might be able to.
Yeah, I won't bother with them.
All of them were in the ring apart from Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy comes out and he was jumped by Santana and Ortiz and just laid out. The match practice starts. MJF, being his cocky heel self, Wardlow stood just protecting him.
Just quickly. Yeah, I'm just looking. AEW is still on ITV4. It's on at Saturday midnight, Friday going into Saturday.
Right.
Let's face it, it's hardly a featured time.
No.
Yeah, back to the Battle Royale.
They're still there. So Luther threw out Marco Stunt, absolutely yeeted him, but then Luther was eliminated by a chokeslam from Luchasaurus. And then Sonny Kiss was thrown over the top by Wardlow. And then MJF rolled out and just attacked Sonny Kiss. Colt Cabana and MJF stared down at each other. But Colt Cabana got the better of MJF. Cabana hit Billy Gunn, but Billy eliminated Colt using the momentum. This set up another angle with the Dark Order. The recruiter. He was sat on the outside and he just handed basically a piece of paper saying "Join the Dark Order."
Yeah, not seen him for a while. I really like that.
I like it. I like that they've not just stopped trying to recruit now that he's been revealed and stuff. And they're trying to recruit sort of more higher known members. Brandon Cutler was nearly eliminated by Luchasaurus. He managed to hang on, but Peter Avalon and him had brawls on the ring apron. They both eliminated each other at the same time. Their feud still going on of who can pick up the first win. I think that's still going on. Then Marco hit Wardlow. Maybe Marco didn't get eliminated. Marco hit Wardlow with a missile dropkick. Daniels tried to powerbomb him out of the ring, but Marco held on and sort of flipped Daniels over. Marco then went for a jump off the top ropes. Wardlow caught him and just threw him at Christopher Daniels. Marco's son is one of the best for that in terms of for the big guy to look strong.
I really hope this isn't the end of Wardlow and MJF though.
No, I don't think it was. So Wardlow and MJF double team Luchasaurus until Billy Gunn stepped in. Billy Gunn and Luchasaurus began to exchange rounds with each other until they were both eliminated by Wardlow. So they were both on the ring post. MJF and Wardlow both ran in, tipped him over. Then they started attacking Jungle Boy, looking like it was MJF or Wardlow going to win. Orange Cassidy runs in, makes a save. MJF hit Wardlow by accident. Wardlow gets eliminated. MJF gets eliminated with Jungle Boy, leaves Orange Cassidy and Jungle Boy left. Then them two just had a great match, like a short match, back and forth. Orange Cassidy looks like he gets eliminated, but he does the thing where he pulls himself over, and then Jungle Boy did exactly the same thing, but he caught Orange Cassidy, threw him over the ring. Jungle Boy gets the first TT Championship shot.
Yeah, Jungle Boy's a good first guy for it.
Yeah, because he's a good babyface. He's a great wrestler. He just struggles with character, I feel like, a little bit.
I'm not sure if that's. He doesn't get much like promo time.
No, maybe he'll get some next week before the match.
Well, I know what you mean. He doesn't have a particularly defining character.
No.
Like if you had to like explain it to someone, you would just kind of say like standard, just like white meat babyface.
Mm-hmm. One thing that did piss me off is JR just got Jungle Boy Jack Perry. I thought he was just consistently called Jungle Boy, and then as soon as JR calling him that, I was like, I swear he's just called Jungle Boy.
Well, sometimes he calls him Jungle Jack, Jungle Boy Jack. He's got about 4 different names.
But I like that he's never used his famous name.
Yeah. I don't know. To a newer viewer, it could be a bit confusing.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll ignore that. We'll run to Jungle Boy, obviously, getting that match next week. Tomorrow against Cody Rhodes. We did have the pep rally as the main event segment, so there were a lot of stuff to go on here. Okay, so Vic Guerrero came out, stole some pom-poms from the Inner Circle cheerleaders and introduced them. Jericho welcomed everyone and said, like, 5 sexy phoenixes, we will rise again. They began throwing Stadium Stampede merch out. And then he said, Sammy Guevara bought everyone participation trophies. Santana handed out various gifts from a basket, including some discount Timberland boots to Jake Hager. There was a taco in there. Jericho said he didn't want Sammy on nerdy crutches, so he got him a scooter. Then Jake Hager said the best gift he could give his friends was a poem. I quite enjoyed this because it started off as quite a nice poem, and then it was just Hager getting more and more wound up as he started to read it, which was quite fun. Yeah. Then Sammy asked Jericho what he wanted. Sammy asked Jericho what he wanted after Jericho handed out all these gifts, and he said, I really want Mike Tyson's head on a platter. I couldn't get Tyson's head on a platter, but I got you cheese platter and a little bit of bubbly. So that was sort of the Inner Circle segment. A lot of stuff going on there. Typical Inner Circle.
This was like a star. Like, it was so funny.
And all of the stuff fit the characters.
Yeah, everyone had a little chance to shine. Like the participation trophies were good. Santana giving Chris Jericho a framed photo of Mark Anthony. Fantastic. Sammy Guevara getting a scooter. And then the best bit was by far the best proof Jake Hager has ever.
He's so
poetry.
He's so good in this role.
Yeah, it was kind of like it was kind of sincere, and then he got angrier and angrier, saying like he knows where the elite like live and work, like he watches them sleep and stuff, and everyone tells him to calm down. And you go, okay, I'm calm. And
It was
then
just he was getting more wound up.
waits a couple of seconds and then declares the end.
He's good at
was
comedic timing. He's had it before. In terms of like when he's doing these comedy segments, he just sits quiet, and then when there's a little bit of dull silence, he'll say something or he'll just do a stupid thing. He's really he's excelling at this role.
It's how deadpan he is. Like before the Jericho Cody match, when Jericho had that video package where it was like do you know which one I mean? Where like Sammy Guevara was like, he's the youngest AEW World Champion ever. And it cut to and then it cut to like Jericho's like auntie or something saying like, I know he's gonna like whoop Cody's
taking
ass.
the piss out of Cody. Yeah.
Cuts to Jake Hager, doesn't say anything, just stares down the camera.
He's a lunatic.
That's still one of the best things.
It's like he's got multiple personalities, and it works well. I also liked Jericho giving Ortiz the headphones because his ears were still ringing from the bell. I quite enjoyed that.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
That made me chuckle.
His
comedy wrestling would have done right.
Really good comedy.
Well, it's Jericho in it. Jericho's produced some of the best liners. One of my favourites is "I'm a Sexy Pinata" when it was the Shark Cage match. Just him. I just wish we had like a camera or a microphone on him during that match because "I'm a Sexy Pinata" you could hear it. He said it so loud enough the cameras picked it up. But I'm sure he said tons of other stuff in that match. It's Jericho in it.
It all went. I'm not gonna say it all went downhill, but Mike Tyson happened.
So Mike Tyson comes out and he comes to the ring wearing an AEW t-shirt, and then he had a group of posse with him. And at first I'm like, all right, okay, and then I was like, oh, that's Henry Cejudo, the UFC champion. Vita Belfort, former UFC fighter. Rashad Evans again.
Okay, everyone seemed to know who these people were. I
knew
don't.
who two of them were. I knew Henry Cejudo. I know Kieran L. He already got annoyed because I pronounced his name wrong, but him and Rashad Evans, I didn't recognise Vita Belfort. But then I was looking, I was like, it's really strange. There's a guy wearing face paint over there. And apparently there was a Jersey Shore guy in there as well.
Right.
It was a very strange posse. It was probably who can they get who can promote this on Twitter.
Why do tough people need posses? I don't get it.
I do, but I liked it. Like Jericho had the Inner Circle, Mike Tyson had his UFC fighters.
Inner Circle's different though, because it's wrestling. Do you know what I mean? I don't. But then again, I'm like,
Mike Tyson's not dumb. He's not going to go challenge the Inner Circle by himself.
I've got no interest in boxing or MMA, so maybe I remember Bobby Lashley had the whole America's Top Team stuff. So
yeah,
I guess it's just what you do.
But Jericho said, I've been dribbling for the moment for 10 years. I trust you and you knock me out. Might I say, because you're a sucker, Jericho, I'm going to give you one chance to apologize to me. I'm going to knock you the hell out. Then they just both started brawling, pushes back and forth. The Inner Circle and Tyson's posse were back and forth in. This is what Jim Ross is good at. He's good, not the one-liners, but when there's chaos, it's just him screaming. But it's very like it's all breaking down in Jacksonville tonight. It's Jericho, it's Tyson, it's like this is what Ross can be.
It was very reminiscent of. I know this is basically a repeat of the angle, but you just think back to when Tyson struck Austin and JR's going, it's Tyson and Austin, it's Tyson and Austin.
There was a lot of backlash for this because they were saying you just latching onto an old WWE angle, which they are. But they are both very different. Tyson's older now. He's in sort of a regeneration of his career getting ripped. Jericho has evolved his character so much more since then. And I think if you wanted Tyson, who's the best person? Someone who's got his past history with him.
Yeah. It isn't the road I'd have gone down, but I'm not strangely enough, I'm not bothered. Maybe it's because it's AEW and they just get a free pass with everything they do on me.
I just think
like Mike Tyson's surely not going to have a match.
No, Jericho said he could have a match.
Maybe it'll be at Fyter Fest.
I think. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it all out. You're going to put Mike Tyson in one of your biggest pay-per-views.
you're going to put Mike Tyson versus Chris Jericho on All Out.
Yeah, I think.
Really?
Yeah, because I think we seem to forget Tyson is such a big name that if you go and we've got the best boxing legend Mike Tyson versus one of the best wrestling legends Chris Jericho, how will it turn out? And it doesn't have to be a long match; it could be a 10-minute, not even a proper wrestling match, a shenanigans match.
Yeah.
I think
The problem is Jericho will have so many ideas, but I just feel like Mike Tyson won't be able to pull any of them off. Let's face it, he couldn't even pull off his own T-shirt.
That's just the pro wrestling tees quality. I'm pretty confident that's the truth. I was like, our T-shirts are so good that even Mike Tyson can't break them.
Yeah.
Which I enjoyed. But that was AEW. It was a packed show.
It was fine.
What stuff going on? I'll give it a decent 4, 3.5.
I can't believe we're saying 4, 3.5 for FTR debut and Mike Tyson shows up.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm a fan of the revival.
It's still by an absolute country mile my favourite show to watch.
Same.
Nothing comes close.
I mean, when we go to NXT, we'll talk about it. But there is something I don't know. I don't know whether I was getting bored. There was something about watching NXT this week where I was like, I don't want to.
Was it not great?
I don't know whether it's the crowd. I don't know what it's the generic crowd. There's something about which is putting me off because the matches are good. Like, so I mean, we'll move on to NXT now because the show opened up with Drake Maverick beating Kushida and Jake Atlas to win Group A and will face El Hijo del Fantasma.
Yeah. I know I'm a week behind, but I didn't think last 2 weeks ago the NXT was great, and as I say, the crowd was a bit weird.
Yeah, I think I don't mind the plexiglass. I actually quite like that they're being sort of forced to wrestle in this sort of cage type thing, but the crowd is very. It's not even very WWE because like when we have live audience, the WWE fans are very not generic, but they know what to say, they know how to react. Whereas I think the wrestlers only know to react from what they've been told, if that makes sense.
If the wrestlers were given complete freedom, then they'd be reacting fine, and they'd be like AEW, but they'll just be under such strict instruction. Like, you must cheer these people, you must boo these people, you must not get yourself over at any cost.
That's the problem.
And also, you're not allowed to sit down for 10 hours.
I think it was Raw, the first one where they had audience. Eric Bugenhagen was there, and he was being the Austin Gunn of NXT, but they put him in a place where couldn't really see. You could only see him when they were making their entrances, and that's it.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, why don't you put him front and center hard cam? Because he's giving the most out of these reactions to the shows. Like, he's making the matches feel more entertaining. But this, I know you haven't watched NXT. This match was great. All of the wrestlers didn't feel out of place. They all felt all together. And the finish was great. So Maverick pinned Kushida for a 3 count, and in the replays it was a split second after Jake Atlas tapped. So it was 1, 2, 3, and Atlas tapped as soon as Drake Vert's hand hit the floor. It was perfect timing. But the original rule, so like Maverick won. Late in the evening, Kushida went up to Maverick backstage, just went, "Fair play, go do it." And I like that. Kushida doesn't seem bitter, so his character can still sit in babyface. Drake gets his chance. I think the only one that's left out is possibly Jake Atlas, because I don't know where he goes from this, but you've got a great match now for Maverick versus El Hijo del Fantasma.
I know where he goes, and that's 205 Live.
You know, I think he could excel there. Actually,
they're in need of guys.
But I don't think they will. I think, unfortunately, I think 205 Live will slowly be phased out.
You think?
Just look at the roster size. That's my only worry.
I'll come on to 205 Live.
You will.
205 Live later.
If you look at the roster size, that's all. I just think they're a bit.
Oh yeah, he's got like 7 guys. Like they could not be less arsed about it.
But then we did have Johnny Gargano's first ever Johnny Gargano Invitational. Adrian Alanis came out. Gargano won easily. But after the match, he was interrupted by Mia Yim and Keith Lee, who was just poking fun at. Do you know the Garganos have had the whole segment with them eating food and chatting shit? Basically, them two just gimmicked and took the piss out of it. Quite funny. There were bits that made me chuckle. Decent.
Yeah.
I don't know what you can say. It's just setting up a tag team match between these false wrestlers. Raquel Gonzalez defeated Shotzi Blackheart. So, if I can remember what happened, Dakota Kai was out with Gonzalez. Dakota Kai did something which Tegan Knox then ran out to thingy to make the save. Then Kai got the better of eventually, assisted in Gonzalez's victory because Knox was distracted by Candice LeRae because Candice LeRae was also out there. There was a lot of stuff going on in the end of this. Gonzalez picks up the win. Then we did have the tag team match. There's a lot of stuff. Women's champion Charlotte Flair and Chelsea Green was the mystery sort of partner, defeating Rhea Ripley and Io Shirai. Green sort of sacrificed herself. So,
apparently Chelsea Green's got rid of Robert Stone.
Yes.
Why?
So after this, basically, Green sacrificed herself. Charlotte picked up the win. Fair enough. It set up, I think, the triple threat for Takeover. Yeah, for Takeover. And then on Twitter, there was a backstage segment of who's the NXT one? Sarah Schreiber, maybe.
Quite possibly.
One of the NXT background viewers was interviewing Chelsea Green and Robert Stone, and Chelsea Green eventually just went, "You're fired." She walked off, and Robert Stone was just laughing about it like she was joking. Then he looks like goes, "Wait, are you serious?" And then he sort of tries to beg and stuff. So I don't know what's happening with that, because I think if you get rid of Robert Stone from Chelsea Green, you are making a huge mistake.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like they're a great fit.
They fit together so well, and I hope they don't. I hope that it might have just been a mistake, or it's a swerve, because I don't think both characters will get over as well without having a mouthpiece or a great manager.
I mean, maybe they're repackaging Rob Stone, but
I don't think
I don't know why
his gimmick's very good currently.
Yeah.
But next we had Adam Cole and William Regal sort of in a confrontation on virtually. So Adam Cole was sort of trying to negotiate with William Regal, saying Dream doesn't deserve one, but if he is going to get one, he's never allowed to challenge for the title again after this match. So Regal goes, "Fine, you can have that. If Dream loses, he can never challenge you for the title again, or even if he wins." Pardon me. But the stipulation on sort of Adam Cole's side was that Regal said he would find a special location for the match where Cole and Dream could shine in the spotlight they so crave. And so as soon as that thing out, do you want the leak spoiler for Takeover? It's not like the ending isn't just what the match is.
I need to go for a couple of minutes anyway. But no, I mean I don't know all about NXT anyway, so I'm not sure what good spoiler's gonna do.
It's just basically the match takes place. It's going to be taking place in the car park with a bunch of the audience is going to be sat in the cars, and all the cars' headlights are going to be shining all on the wrestlers.
Really?
There's already been backlash because do you know the people that were in the crowds on Raw and SmackDown? They've apparently had to stay nearly up to midnight when filming this on Wednesday because rain hindered filming at a certain time. So these NXT wrestlers had to stay later and later, and they've been having to do basically like 12-hour shifts without a sit down. Like
they treat those trainees awfully, and it's so easy. Like,
happy.
Yeah, well, rightly so, because like it's so avoidable. Just give them a chair.
Yep. Right, we'll move on if you want to go.
We'll be back in a second.
Yeah. Ciampa defeated Leon Ruff with a carrying across the dress Ciampa. So Ciampa made sort of easy work. Leon Ruff, I think, got a little bit of fight, but then nothing much of that happened. Scarlett came to ringside, just staring down him. Then Karrion Kross appears on the screen. Just cuts a typical Karrion Kross promo that we've seen in the recent weeks of his debut, saying what's going to happen at Takeover in your house. Obviously, that is happening next week. This weekend, me and Sam, when Sam comes back, we'll do predictions. But we'll go into the main event. It was the first ever NXT Fit Pit. Fit Pit? God. NXT Fight Pit. Which basically it was a normal ring, and it was sort of an open steel cage, but had scaffolding on the steel cage on the outside, so the referees was on top of the cage, but it was like sort of like scaffolding around it. So I think there were two referees on top of the cage. Then there was Kurt Angle in the ring. Matt Riddle comes out, he climbs up, hops in the ring. Timmy Thatcher comes out, climbs up in the ring. Kurt Angle starts the match. The best thing was Matt Riddle hit a massive blow when he launched off the side of a cage for a kick and sort of kicks Timmy Thatcher, and one of his teeth goes flying. Now, I think it's the first time I've seen an actual teeth spot where the teeth has come out and you can visibly see the teeth going and then the referee holding the tooth. Great spot. Kurt had the teeth. Thatcher's mouth was just spewing with the blood. He went over to the edge of the cage. The referee did it. The medic did it through the cage, sorted his mouth out. The match carried on. Thatcher said that they would continue. Him and Riddle went to the top of the fight pit. The scaffolding. It was scaffolding. Then Matt Riddle hit Thatcher. Thatcher fell to the ring. Riddle hit the ripcord knee and then hit a floating bro. So it was a lovely moonsault off the top of the cage, hitting him really nice. Didn't get the win, but when you see it, it looks great. And the finish came when basically Thatcher locked in a rear naked choke and just didn't let go of Riddle. Riddle fell unconscious. Thatcher wins. I think it's a great match. If you can watch it, do. And also it keeps both guys strong. Riddle's not pinned. He injured himself from the floating bro, which allowed him to be rear naked choked. And then with Thatcher, it just makes him look like a hard bastard, from the teeth flying out to the blood spewing to him just not releasing Riddle. It fits well. Simon, are you back?
I am.
Do you want to do takeover predictions?
Yeah, sure.
I've got the card loaded up. So there's only 5 matches. I don't know whether hold up, the NXT Cruiserweight Interim Title Tournament final on NXT, or is it on?
I don't think it's on Takeover.
Yeah, that's it. Right, we've currently got 5 matches then. So we'll start off. Tommaso Ciampa versus Karrion Kross with Scarlett. Who's winning that?
Oh, Karrion Kross.
Yeah. I'm about to disagree with him and realise what you said. Yeah, it's got to be Karrion Kross. He's the newly debuted guy. I think it would be very stupid if you put Riddle over, because Karrion Kross' character is great, but I think it's going to be a decent match where Riddle will put over Kross. Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley versus Io Shirai.
It's got to be the hardest working woman on the planet, Charlotte Flair.
I'm going for Rhea Ripley because I just don't want to see Charlotte Flair on more than one show. I was watching Raw and I sighed, even though I think she's a Raw superstar. No, she's NXT. We've gone through this. I sighed when she was on the show. So I was like, I just can't be arsed seeing her again. If she's on SmackDown, I'm going to turn it off.
Neither can I, but if Rhea Ripley just wins, then what was the point in having her lose on the grandest stage of them all?
I don't care. Now, you know what? No Rhea Ripley, but I'm going for Io Shirai. Just Charlotte Flair doesn't have the belt. Because I can't be asked with more of her.
I was like, book with your head, not with your heart.
Yeah, I'll go here. Finn Balor versus Damian Priest.
Finn Balor, Damian Priest?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm going to go for Priest. Just because I think Finn doesn't need a win yet. He's waiting for Volta and flying restrictions. And I think this could be a chance for Priest to get an actual big win, because I don't think he's got one yet, really. He lost in all the bouts against Keith Lee and Dijakovic, who we'll talk about when we get to Raw. More we'll talk about now. He's going to be called up to Raw.
Yeah. Finn Balor.
I'm going to go Priest just because I think he deserves a win and he might get one. Yeah, Dijakovic being called up to Raw. What do you think about
that? Yeah, great. Dijakovic. He's more suited to the main roster. Not in the sense that he doesn't obviously he's a class wrestler and that. But there was never really a space for him in NXT. I never really knew where he fit on the card. Whereas I feel like main roster, he could just go straight on, be a star. Yeah. 6'7". Yeah.
And also, Vince will like him. He's a big, tall, muscular guy. We hope so. And then we've got the two title matches. So Keith Lee versus Johnny Gargano for the North American Championship.
Johnny Gargano.
Ooh. I'm going to go Keith Lee just because of shenanigans. I think Candice will come out, cause a DQ, and then Miriam comes to make the save, and then we get something between them two.
We're different quite here.
We do. And then Adam Cole versus Velveteen Dream. If Dream loses, he can no longer challenge for the NXT Championship while Cole is still champion.
Easy. Adam Cole. Baby.
I'm just going to go... no. I'm going to go against you just for continuity's sake. I think we've gone... No, we haven't. Now I'll go Adam Cole because I was waiting to say I'm carrying cross. I'll go with Adam Cole. First of all, you can't take the belt off him without a crowd because I think you've got to have the shock of a crowd. But also, I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm getting sick of Dream.
That's not my thinking. I just Velveteen Dream's not even been involved in this feud. He's barely there.
I think Dream needs to go away for a bit.
But why though? Because he went away for a bit when he was injured for 8 months.
There's something about Dream where I'm like, before I was excited to see Dream, it was something new. And I think in the past couple of months, his character's been very diluted.
I completely agree, but all right, so he goes away, comes back. What's going to have changed?
That's the problem.
Maybe apart from the fact that we might have fans.
I don't know. I think Dream is a character that does really heavily rely on the fans. No, he don't.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I've never been as into him as some people.
I think there's something when Dream first debuted, I was very excited, but I'm growing stale of him, and I don't know why.
Yeah, there is something missing, and I don't know what it is.
Belt. Because he hasn't won it yet. He's a guy who probably should win it.
And I don't think Dream needs a title.
He doesn't, but I think it could help, possibly. I don't know.
Nah, Cole wins. Keith Lee loses. Keith Lee versus Adam Cole at next Takeover. Keith Lee wins the big title, Undisputed Era move up. There you go.
But I never want to see him
Dream.
And I'd happily see him go to SmackDown.
Quit while you're on top.
Yeah. I don't want to see Undisputed Era move, though.
It'll be a sad day.
It will.
It's got to come soon.
Yeah, I'll be very surprised if they never go up.
They've been there for what, 3? It'll be 3 years in a month's time.
One of my favourite debuts as well.
Yeah, but in NXT, 3 years is a long time.
Yeah. Rumours that Adam Cole's contract is coming up, ending soon though.
Oh, he's got to renew. He's Triple H's guy.
He is, but imagine if he doesn't. Because he's one of the guys that if he leaves, we know where he's going.
Yeah,
he's a shoo-in for AEW. He's mates with all of them. He's really good mates with the Young Bucks. They've been mates forever. He was one of the big members of Being the Elite until they killed him off.
Call me a madman, but I'd rather see him in WWE.
I'd rather see him in NXT.
I'd be too sad if they just pissed away all the work that they've done over the past 3 years with the Undisputed Era, all for him to leave.
Vince doesn't like stables, and I think that's the problem.
If he goes, I'd hope that the other 3 would follow. But
I think Fish and O'Reilly might. I think Strong might stay just because he's got quite a cushy job. His wife's there.
I think if anyone's likely to stay out of them 3, it would be Roddy.
And it's a way you could make Roddy a big heel. Is Cole has just lost the title, Fish and O'Reilly coming out to help him back, and Strong attacks them both and sort of cements I'm the leader now.
Strong kills them off whilst they go to AEW.
Yeah. Strong possibly tries to replicate the era and he's like got a complex on him that he should have been Adam Cole. Obviously, they won't reference him, but you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
Strong gets a chance to finally be the guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't. I think the era can't get
good
called
idea,
up.
but it'd have to be made obvious that it is Roderick Strong being jealous of the fact that he wasn't the leader, rather than just trying to replicate a knockoff era.
Yeah.
2.0.
Okay. Yeah.
As long as it's that way, it'd be all right. Yeah.
I just don't think Vince doesn't like factions. We know that, and I think they would get ruined on the main roster, unfortunately.
So do I. I'd like this time next year. Like, we'll be looking at Matt Riddle and thinking, how did they get that one wrong? And that saddens me, but here we are.
When we'll go into it now, we'll go to main roster. Matt Riddle is now a SmackDown member, so Kurt Angle introduced him, and it's great for Fox because they've got more of a sports orientated guy. The problem is, how do you book Riddle now?
You're having squash jobbers for about a month, and then you give him, and then you have him face like that jobbers is fine at first. Get across who Matt Riddle is. Just don't do what they did with the Viking Raiders and have them face jobbers for like half a year. Although then again, I'm straight away
put the belt on him as soon as possible.
Really,
he can be the lead guy, because for me, Braun's all right. But
Matt Riddle is Riddle should be the lead guy, but I can't see it happening. Or I'd build him up first.
At Backlash, who's Braun got?
He ain't got anyone.
Miz and Morrison.
Has he? Oh,
no,
yeah,
don't put the belt on Riddle, because I really want Miz and Morrison to win it, and they could be bickering over the belt.
But you just know that his first feud's going to be Baron Corbin. Tell me otherwise.
I can't.
Exactly. Baron Corbin.
But we'll go into SmackDown, because I think it was a very controversial show. So the show opened up not like normal. It was a backstage segment, sort of, where you see, I think it's Elias laid on the floor. He's on a stretcher. You see ambulances. You see people sort of panicking. You see, who are the big guys? I'm trying to think that you see. Braun's there. Jeremy Noble's there. Jason Jordan as producer.
Jason Jordan.
He made his return.
I don't normally get a pop out of seeing producers and backstage.
I did smile. I was like,
I did for Jason Jordan.
Renee were there with a microphone, sort of trying to do some journalism. And then it cuts to sort of an alleyway where some police officers have got Jeff Hardy, and Jeff Hardy was he was drunk, and he was basically heavily insinuated that he'd crashed into Elias, I think, if I'm correct in thinking.
Yeah, Braun Strowman was there to give an eyewitness view.
Yeah, and obviously, if you don't know, Jeff Hardy has had many problems with alcohol and drugs in the past. And then using this on a live TV show, and especially after the main event, was very... Obviously, Jeff had to sign off on that. But I think it's very distasteful for a man who's been arrested for public intoxication and stuff, for then to him have an angle where he's hit someone because he was drinking and put him out of action. Like, they released a list of what Elias had been injured, regardless of if it's a swerve and Hardy didn't actually do it.
It is extremely distasteful, and there's so many other things you could do, but then again, I imagine surely Jeff Hardy will have signed off on it.
He's got to. They could have even just think of Jeff as someone has hit Elias. No one's seen it apart from Braun. Jeff is the closest person. They could have just gone, oh yeah, it was Jeff. Jeff did it. I saw it with my own eyes. And then it could be a thing of, well, why is Braun blame Jeff when it wasn't him? I don't think you need. I don't think you need to add the alcohol bit into it.
Just don't do it. I think is the simple answer.
And I think especially after the main event when he came back out,
or why does he have to be? If you want to do a hit and run angle, Why does it have to be drink driving? Why can't it just
Yeah.
be like
There's so many times where it's not just been him and Rikishi,
yeah,
Roman Reigns.
yeah? Who killed Alistair Black a couple of years ago in NXT in the car park?
Yeah.
Like
It
when
doesn't.
the luchadors on NXT are sort of
Who we
trying
haven't
to hit
seen in a while.
people and stuff.
Oh no, we saw him a couple of weeks ago. They're trying to kidnap someone on the live show, didn't they?
Yeah, like just it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be a drink driving angle, and it doesn't have to be the man with the most prolific history of drink
Yeah,
driving
it's
at
just
the
mental
head of
that
this angle. Like
they
it's
chose
so just
Hardy of all people.
yeah.
You had anyone and you chose Jeff Hardy.
I
It's
I it fell on the wrong side of it for me. I just
it fell on
thought
the
it
wrong
was a bit
side for
tasty.
everyone. Like on Twitter, there was no positive of like, oh well, it's Jeff. It sort of makes sense, but it's like, no, it shouldn't
Yeah,
have been.
like it's not real. Like you don't have to do this.
No. So then it was announced that Elias was out of the tournament, so AJ Styles gets a bye through to the final. But
Um,
there's going to be a
yeah.
because Hardy has been arrested. There's going to be a battle royale to decide who faces Bryan in the semi-final. Now, this was a great show for some people.
What order are you going through SmackDown in?
I'm
Oh
going
no,
through.
never mind. It is next. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just going through what they've got on the list, but I remember that Hardy segment was at the
Yeah,
start.
I'm on a
That's all.
different website to normal. Ignore me.
All right. Yeah, so we had the battle royale. I don't have all the. Let's see if I can remember all of them. Ziggler,
You don't need to.
Shinsuke, Shorty G,
The mid
Sheamus,
carders.
Jey Uso. Yeah. Right. Anyway. So King Corbin dominated early with 4 early eliminations. I think the final one was Gulak. But then Jey Uso, who was obviously by himself, Jimmy is injured. Jey Uso super kicked him out, which I really like. It has its only shown the finish here. You got Shorty G getting in a really strong showing. I'm just checking. Has his name? He's
What?
still called Shorty G. All right.
He's
Okay.
still Shorty G. Yeah. What surprise when you let a good wrestler wrestle? He wrestles well.
Like that match, look at who was in the match and look how like Cesaro was in there, Shinsuke, Shorty G, like people who are great at wrestling are getting a chance to shine. The finish was Sheamus and Jey Uso. They were both on the ring post. The finish, I think, when Jey Uso went for a super kick, Sheamus blocked and then Bro kicked him off for the win. I was hoping this was going to be a swerve. I would have really enjoyed it if the Bro kick happened, but Uso moved it last time. When he was falling, super kick, Sheamus gets eliminated, and it's Jey Uso versus Daniel Bryan. It's so, I feel like that
Yeah, but you
could
kind of know that they're not going to do a singles run with it.
no,
So.
but I'm glad that he got a chance to shine.
Yeah. Well, the bit I took from all of this was if the Usos aren't joined at the hip and you can let Jay compete whilst Jimmy's injured, then why isn't the uninjured author of pain with Seth's Messiahs?
I know, stupid, innit? That
It makes no sense.
because
They're
it's
not
not
even
like
like
the authors of pain need to be
it's
together.
worse. It's worse for the authors of pain because they're not brothers. They're not related. They're not even from the same country.
No,
They just
like,
look the same.
and I
Oh,
think
it's
thing is,
baffling.
Seth's group could do with this big mercenary. Like you've got Austin Theory and Buddy Murphy, who are these sort of young guys, and well, not young guys. 'Cause I think Akam is is younger than all of them. Or it might be the same age as Austin Theory. One of them's only
Um,
24. If I'm right. Hold up, I'm finding
yeah,
this
but
out. I think
like they do need a bit like a big, but like a horse. I don't really know. Just a
okay,
bit
maybe
like
not.
enforcer. Yeah,
So Akam's 27. Razor is 25, which is mental.
yeah, they are quite
What do
young.
they
Yeah,
feed him in
25.
Albania? Yeah, Jesus, man, it's mental, that innit? Anyway, 25 years old. And he's that size, Jesus. Anyway, so yeah, Sheamus won. Right, I'm trying to go in order. I think this. Now, did we have the
Uh,
Mandy Otis segment now, or did we have the Sonya versus Lacey?
oh, I don't think they've got man. Oh no, we had Sonya versus Lacey.
Right, so we have Sonya Deville versus Lacey Evans ends in double count out. Um, basically, they just started attacking each other in the ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Count out. Why didn't you just give Sonya the win?
I don't really know. I want quite bothered. I want like bothered to. I like Lacey. I really like Lacey Evans.
Yeah, I prefer Sonya. I think Sonya. I suppose Lacey's good as well. But I think Sonya should have got the win here. You should be building her up.
I want bothered.
Yeah, then we did have a moment of bliss with the New Day and Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. It was funny. This New Day just like sort of giving their over the top reactions to comments said. Bayley and Sasha Banks came out and sort of had war of words. New Day in the background laughing, and then Bayley goes like, "Well, blah 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 blah, but you can fight Sasha Banks," and Sasha's shocked, like she doesn't have a wrestling gear. Alexa does. She don't even have shoes. Sets up the match. Bayley runs back, gets some shoes for Sasha. But I'm pretty confident Sasha wasn't even in ring gear still, if I'm right in thinking.
I'd remember zero.
I'm trying to. We should normally probably do our recap, but I'm pretty confident Sasha wasn't in a ring gear, and which annoys me about the finish.
Oh okay, yeah, it was just sort of like strung on like Sasha out of nowhere.
It was just what she was wearing before, like a top, but she was wearing joggers. Like it wasn't a typical ring gear. But Sasha picks up the win over Alexa. Okay.
Yeah.
I suppose it's keeping Bayley and Sasha on TV and strong. I think the best thing about this match was Nikki Cross and Bayley on commentary, just taking the piss out of Michael Cole.
Yeah, Nikki. I just think Nikki Cross is really annoying, but Michael Cole was funny. Michael Cole just couldn't stop laughing.
I couldn't understand why people were annoying Nikki Cross. I quite enjoy her, but I couldn't understand why people find her annoying.
She's like Montez Ford.
Yeah.
She's like Montez Ford 1 month ago. Montez has toned it down.
I like Montez. I like Montez from a month ago. But anyway, then we did have an actual match. It was Shorty G versus Cesaro. Shorty G picked up a win on SmackDown. It was a roll-up.
Get in there.
But it was Shorty G getting a win. Now I'm just hoping that next week he comes out and says, "I'm not Shorty G, I'm Chad Gable."
Yeah, now he's not feuding with Baron Corbin. Like, he doesn't need to be Shorty G.
Just call him Chad Gable. Make him this Olympic wrestler.
Yeah, I'm guessing he's not the hacker anymore.
No.
I'm guessing that's all Ali.
Surely. Who else?
Who else could it be other than Ali? Ember Moon.
She's injured. And apparently she's injured bad.
Yeah, you're getting worked, son.
No, don't tell me I'm getting worked here.
It could well be Ember Moon.
It could be, but...
Like, of course she's going to say that she's really badly injured if she's coming back.
I thought it was leaked by the dirt sheets that she actually was injured. If I'm being worked here, I feel like a proper mug.
Chances are she probably is like really badly injured. Like, for its worth, I don't think she is the hacker, and she probably is just that badly injured. But
I don't think she's
I'm not ruling it out.
You're not ruling it, but it's looking more and more every day like Ali.
Yeah,
and I think as much as I like Ali, he doesn't need a hacker gimmick. His promos are really good, regardless. Like, was it when there was a 205 Live tournament? He cut a promo where he were in his hometown and he were under a bridge and he was talking about his days as a cop and how because of his skin color, he wasn't treated as fair as other cops. So he always had to prove himself, and it's been the same in wrestling industry. Like,
and the best bits about them promos were the fact that he shot them all himself. He had 100% creative freedom.
And look how entertaining they were. Like, he had you hooked. I did put out another tweet just saying, people only saw me because of my colour and they saw that they could use me because of my race. Yet, look at that promos I was cutting by myself. It just proves that I'm not just a skin colour. I'm, like, he's very good. And I sort of hope it's not him.
I say his stuff on 205 was really good, and his main roster stuff was, but the last year has really not been.
I know. He's just been main event, if anything, hasn't he?
Oh, no. Ali's not been on main event at all. I can tell you that for a fact.
It's mental, though. If you look back and look at 205 Live, like Buddy Murphy and Ali producing some of the best matches. Cedric, where's he now? Who else?
Neville, Austin Aries.
Mental in it. And they were always on the pre-show. Like, if you look at all the cruiserweight title matches on the pre-show, you're like, they should have been on the main card. Like, if you look at compared to other matches, because
but they were never bothered about the cruiserweights. And and rightly, like people, like they've given us no reason to care. Like I'm one of the only people on the planet who watches 205 Live.
It's a shame, innit? Because they are good.
Then we did I've just had a quick look. I know we're coming on to it later, but I've had a look at on 205 list this week. There was less in-ring action than there was on main event.
Wow!
In terms of how bell to bell, how long it lasted.
God, that's bad.
Right, I guess it's appalling.
But then before the main event, we had a little segment for Otis and Mandy. So, if I can remember this, Mandy and Otis are chilling in the back garden. And does she start daydreaming?
Otis goes in the pool. Mandy says she's going to have a sleep.
Yeah. And she wakes up and she dreams of this hot, passionate Otis walking into the pool, looking all sexy, licking his lips, licking his finger, talking all seductively. They have a right kiss. Then it was very like princess, not princess. Do you know when, like, I don't know how to describe it, but anyway, she wakes up all shocked to Otis cannonballing into the pool, covering her with water. Then he swims up to her like moto, and yeah.
I'd judge most things in wrestling on the basis of if you were to show it to a non-wrestling fan, what would they think? They'd think this was really weird and kind of.
They got it on. Shout out Otis, you know. He's Mr. Money in the Bank.
Otis don't need to be doing this kind of stuff.
His Win Mandy gimmick. Poor Tina.
Yeah.
Your boy.
Yeah, I'd like if. I really wish they'd get like Tino. I'm like he's fired, so obviously like they're not gonna.
What would they bring him in for? He's jealous.
If he was still with the company, they could legitimately call him up and like get him involved and like give Otis a bit of competition, and then you've got like this guy who's built like a Greek god, Tino Sabatelli, and then big thick dense boy Otis.
Yeah,
they said it's the storyline's there. It's made. Never mind.
Tino he's no more. In before Tino appears in any AEW as a surprise challenger.
People he'll smash it on the indies.
I hope he does, just for your sake, if anything.
Yeah, man.
But we did have the main event. It was Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan in the semi-final match. Sheamus looked like he was going to win until Jeff Hardy re-emerged from the ramp. Bryan capitalized with a running knee, and then Hardy went in and basically attacked Sheamus following his arrest. So, okay, what is the payoff here? Did Sheamus sort of frame Hardy and got him drunk on purpose? Like, was just Hardy annoyed at Sheamus because Sheamus took his spot, even though technically it really wasn't Sheamus's fault. Sheamus just won the Battle Royale.
I won't lie, I haven't given this a single minute of thought.
Exactly. I just don't know what their idea was, their payoff.
Yeah, because Jeff Hardy can't be mad at Sheamus because Sheamus won the Battle Royale off his own back. It's like he stole the spot from him.
Yeah, it was Jeff's fault.
Maybe he framed him to the police.
That's what I was only thinking. But
then why was Jeff Hardy acting like he was pissed?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. And more to the point, I don't really care.
No, I'd say it was a mega game of
But have you heard that? Because SmackDown this week's already like been recorded. Apparently, Bryan and AJ Styles have like a killer match.
Of course, look at Bryan and AJ.
Good. So, come on, like Styles and Bryan have got like quality chemistry. So
they do. Well, look, they're two of the best wrestlers in the world. But we'll go to Monday Night Raw because might as well. The show opened up with Seth Rollins cutting a really lovely. Was it the retirement ceremony? Because he kept on saying that the retirement series is going to be happening later on, but it didn't. So I'm guessing it meant as in Ray was appearing later on.
I don't know, because I watched Raw in like a all messed up order.
So I watched it more or less live, sometimes without audio. I just had it on in the background. But I've listened to this, and basically Seth being amazing as he was, just cutting an amazing promo. It was all the promos do seem all very different from each other, which is what you want from your main heel. He said he honours the sacrifice that Ray made. Yeah, it was just great. Aleister Black comes out and interferes, which leads on to Aleister Black beating Seth Rollins. But after the match, Rollins sent Murphy and Theory on Black and Humberto Carrillo, because Humberto ran out to make the save, and basically just attacked them both. I think it's what you want. Black picks up a win, even if it's with the help of Carrillo. But then Seth and the crew don't look weak because they attacked Carrillo and Black. I think this great booking.
Yes, I don't really have much more to add to this. Yeah, I don't have much to say about Raw. I just maybe it's just like there's everything else going on in the world, but it just felt really unimportant.
Yep. So then we had Apollo Crews. He came out and he went, "Where we are having an open challenge," and no, he went, "I've chosen an opponent," and Kevin Owens comes out. They both shake hands and like, all right, we're gonna do this, and the match starts to go on a bit. And then Andrade and Angel Garza rush to the ring, attacking both of them, setting up a tag team match. Apollo Crews and Kevin Owens do win it. After Angel Garza attacked Kevin Owens' knee, but Crews came in mid-save, pinned Andrade, and then there was just a bit of beef between Selena getting very angry over it. So, still teasing that the turn.
It was Monday night. It was Monday Night Raw booking, like rule number 1. Have a match. Neither guy can lose.
Yeah.
Have them get jumped, turn it into a tag match, faces win.
Easy.
Yeah, so simple.
But then we did have the bowling match. So again, it happens. They're actually having quite a fair bowling match. I'll let you take over.
Yeah.
In full.
So, right, do you know what's gone on here?
I know that they're having a best of anything you can do, we can do better.
Right. So basically, they show up to the Street Profits Viking Raiders show up to the bowling alley. Early doors, Viking Raiders hitting 8-9 strikes. Street Profits keep putting it down the gutter. Looks like it's going to be an easy win for the Viking Raiders. However, Ivar could not resist the urge of having a turkey leg. Went to the back, found turkey legs in the fridge, nearly got them picked out. Although the owner let them stay because she thought Ivar's cute, carrying on this confusing joke. The score was 100-21 in favour of the Viking Raiders, and they look like they're going to pick up the victory. But then, the Street Profits raised the solo cups, shouted to the person working at the desk who looked really confused that they wanted the smoke. They clicked the fingers, and then it turned into like Hollywood Bowl, party atmosphere, disco lights,
a laser smoke show,
loud music. Yeah, this brings the Street Profits alive. Now they're hitting like strikes and stuff, and the Viking Raiders can't get anything going. We come down to the Street Profits have had all their goals. They've got 130 points.
Yeah.
The Viking Raiders have got one goal left, and they got 121. Have you seen this bit?
I've currently got it up on my screen, and I knew that they needed a strike to win.
Yeah, so with the Viking Raiders needing a strike to win, Ivar gets the ball, lies on his front, and Eric hurls him down the lane. It's a strike, although it's a definite foul, but we'll leave that bit. Viking Raiders pick up the win by 1 point, and it's now 2-2 in the series. Then on Raw Talk later on, they were discussing what's going to be the next challenge. and I think Samoa Joe suggested they do a decathlon.
Oh,
So we might have that.
was Raw Talk good?
It was worth watching. It's a decent 20 minutes. Now just think back to this time last year when the Viking Raiders debuted. Just the fact that they're bowling with the Street Profits, and then Samoa Joe's telling them to do it like athletics, like none of it makes sense. But it's fun. Like, look, it's entertaining, so I'm not going to complain.
Yeah,
I don't want to see them fight though. I don't want to see them have a match. I just want to see them be mates.
Yeah, just be mates. Like, no need for this hostility, guys. I sort of like that they are becoming friends over this. Like, that's a bonus, I suppose.
Yeah, but then again, this is the Viking Raiders, one of the best, like, hardest tag teams on the planet. Like I'll be interested to see whatever happens next time or just how they conclude this feud. Really.
Yeah, I like the deck. I think it'll end in a match. We do have a comment from Benbo Game which says, "I watched Adam Cole's stream yesterday. The Chugs in it on Twitch, and he said that Cole's stream being taped, apparently taped at midnight. Yeah, that's why a lot of the crowd NXT performance center guys and women were pissed off.
Is Takeover not live?
I think they are. That match is pre-taped.
I mean, I don't know why I'm outraged because Double or Nothing went live. Yeah, never mind. Forget I said that.
But like it was really, apparently people were not happy because obviously they'd done NXT and then they'd have to stay until midnight to do that match.
Well, it's more just like imagine asking like your wrestlers to put on a pay-per-view quality main event at midnight.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
And then asking your other recruits to be all happy and in for the match when you've just been stood up for nearly 2 hours and you've been stood up for nearly 4 hours on Raw and stuff like that. Like, you're asking a lot of your employees. But yeah, we'll move on from that to Billy Cross defeating Billy Cross. Billy Kay defeating Nikki Cross. Just again hyping up that match next week. The Iconics versus Bliss and Cross for the women's tag team titles. I do think Iconics could win it here. Have a bit of a freshen up.
Go on the Iconics is all I say. As long as they win, that's fine by me. This might be too much to say. I think they might be my favourite women's wrestlers of all time.
All time? Oh.
They're so entertaining. I'm
trying to think. Genuinely,
like every time the show just improves when they're on.
There's three. Iconics for just entertainment value. For Alexa Bliss for SmackDown 2016 when she'd been called up and she was the best heel on the roster.
Yeah, that was a good shout.
I don't like her as babyface. I prefer her as heel.
I'd like it to be made clear that is just my view. Like, obviously, they are not like the greatest women's wrestlers of all time.
And Becky.
Like, that goes without saying.
But I think they're the most entertaining. One of the most, anyway.
Yeah. No, that Alexa Bliss back in like late 2016, early 2017 was golden.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's so wasted as a face. Like nothing about her says babyface. That's why I really don't like the pairing with her. And
her real life persona is 100% babyface. Like she loves Disney and stuff like that. And when she's doing up down rollout and stuff and up down videos, her real life persona is very babyface. But her character is so much better as a heel.
But I mean, let us not forget how Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss became a team in the first place. It was Alexa Bliss taking the piss out of Nikki Cross and exploiting her and bullying her, and then they just became mates.
She switched to babies,
and that was never the plan.
No.
And like you got Nikki Cross like last week saying, "Oh, like Alexa believed in me when no one else didn't." No, she didn't. She was taking.
She took the piss
here. Let's not rewrite history.
It's WWE, they'd love to do that. But we had Rey Mysterio and Dominic appearing on the show, responding to Seth Rollins. Mysterio appeared on Raw. He was wearing an eye patch, but from the picture, the eye patch it looks really cool. It looks like one of his eyes in his mask is undone, but it looks like one isn't, and it looks really cool. But he said he doesn't have answers to the point whether his career is over. He could be cleared in a few weeks, or he could never again to be cleared. Nonetheless, Mysterio is furious with Rollins for what he put his family through. He can never give the Monday Night Messiah. That was clear evident when Mysterio's son Dominic joined in, basically demanding that someone from the family got retribution on Rollins. After Mysterio left the room, Dominic had a warning for the Monday Night Messiah about what may lie ahead of him: an eye for an eye. I like this.
Yeah.
There's something about Dominic.
really like Dominic.
I don't know whether. Do you think it's because we've seen him as that young kid in the Eddie Guerrero match, and then
I
we see
haven't.
him now? Have you never seen it? It's one of the
No.
strangest matches ever, but it's quite good. And then you sort of see him now, and he's not like his dad. He's very different. He's a lot larger, but he's using what second generation, third generation wrestlers should use. They should use their parents, but as a reason.
Yeah, they should use them. They should use them to enhance their own character, not solely rely on that character.
Like, look at Randy. Randy's one of the perfect people of he's his own character, but he's still a second generation character. But then you look at Charlotte; she's just basically her dad.
Yeah, they were the two examples I was thinking of.
Like,
Spot on.
who are the other second generation wrestlers who got big? Like,
I mean,
you had Curtis Axel.
Is just a heart.
Yeah, Natalia is just a heart. Like, there's nothing thing. You had Curtis Axel, who, when he debuted, was very similar to Mr. Perfect, but
as he went on, he went out to do with him.
It is mental that he's Mr. Perfect's son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He should be a megastar.
Bray Wyatt, sorry. He's another one who's very different from his. But it's not like they're referenced with each other. Like, they've never gone, oh, yeah, he's IRS's kid. And same with Bo Dallas.
What I want to see happen here is I don't want Dominic to go straight into it. I want to see him team with Ray a couple times because I think it'd be really nice if like Mysterio starts off a match, takes all the heat, and then gets a hot tag to Dominic, and Dominic can just run wild.
I think
getting all his offense, and then transition into a single goal.
It's gonna hit Humberto. Humberto has been involved in the Stray thing. If you're still going to go story if Ray is injured, maybe Ray accompanies them, but he stays out the way so he doesn't aggravate the injury.
Yeah,
but Humberto does that. He takes stuff and Dominic comes in, does the big guy stuff.
Dominic and Humberto, I'd be all right with that.
I think, and then I don't know who did wrestle because you can't have them immediately go for Buddy and Theory. I think that's going to be the final tag team that they sort of got to overcome before Dominic can get Seth. Also, who's the best person to go through on your main singles match? Seth. Like, like he could really. I'm looking forward to. I hope Dominic does actually debut.
Who would who would you have him debut against? Like Bo Dallas or something?
In his singles.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think on Raw. Who is the
drummer? Go for like an enhancement talent. Go for.
I was going to say Denzel Dejanay. Yeah, Bo hasn't really.
I mean, Bo's on SmackDown, but who cares at this point?
Who cares?
Invitational.
I'm trying to think who else.
Titus O'Neil.
Titus O'Neil could do it. It makes sense. Titus O'Neil is a really nice guy. He's giving him an opportunity. Who else? I can't think of Raw droppers.
I'll have a look whilst you have the joy of covering Nia Jax versus Kairi Sane.
Well, I'll cover the R-Truth segment first because that was up next.
Oh, was that next?
Yeah, so it went late previously or something. I can't remember what it said earlier on. Gronk was at his home. He was with this guy and he was saying, "Yeah, we're going to film this viral TikTok dance." And he starts to do it in the song. And in the background, you see this gardener, and the gardener starts to join in. And then the guy that's filming, Gronk goes, "Whoa, who's that?" And the gardener goes, "Oh, it's just the cleaner who's raking the mulch or something."
Riddick Moss.
Riddick Moss. Oh, poor Riddick. But yeah, Riddick Moss, I suppose. He can work well. So Gronk goes back to... Gronk goes back and sort of starts to dance. And then the gardener, attacks the referee. The guy that's filming takes off his jacket. It's the referee shirt. R-Truth rolls him up. 1, 2, 3. R-Truth is new 24/7 champion. I think we will see more of Gronk. I think when we get sort of either NFL back or even just live TV, live crowds, which probably next year. Gronk will definitely come back. I think he enjoys it a lot. Then another made a reference to Tampa, saying you're a Tampa Bay player now. You need to have your wits about you or something. I can't remember exactly what they said, but yeah. R-Truth new 24/7 champion. It means the belt is on the show. We now go to Nia Jax versus Kairi Sane. I mean, I'm just gonna skip over it. I mean, if you didn't, you heard the leaks of there was an injury to Kairi Sane during the match. A lot of them said it might have been not Nia's fault. Then they showed it. There was a lot of heavy cuts of the crowd and stuff. And basically, what it looks like where the injury happened is Nia goes to throw Kairi into the stairs, like always, typical, but she doesn't turn her when she throws and just throws Kairi head first in. There were an image shown where it was Kairi's head just all cut open at the top, just one big gash.
I know people saying Kairi was meant to sort of turn into it, but it looked to me like Nia was throwing her way too close, so she didn't have time to turn, and B, she threw her like it just looked like really carelessly and with like not excessive force, but like your number one job as a wrestler is to protect your opponent. You can't tell me that will top of Nia Jax's list when she was doing this.
I feel like every week we come and say this, but
it's always on Kairi Sane.
What can they do?
Kairi.
Surely they're going to run out of excuses. Kairi has had, I think, 3 injuries now, all the hands of Nia. And then there's that list that always goes around of wrestlers that Nia Jax is injured. She's at least injured nearly everyone on the roster. I think apart from maybe Charlotte and Asuka. Might be the only one. I'm trying to think. No, she punched Becky.
Yeah, Becky creating that iconic image.
And like, I know she's supposed to be this big woman who don't care, but as wrestlers, we know the blend between fake and reality. Like, yeah. It eventually gets to a point where it's just not even like a shocking thing anymore. It's like, Nia, yeah.
Yeah.
Sad. Yeah, Nia picks up the win. She's got a match with Asuka later on. Then we did have Charlotte Flair.
No, you got a match with Asuka at Backlash.
Yeah, sorry.
Asuka versus Charlotte later. Randy Orton promo.
I didn't see this. I saw it, but I couldn't hear it.
Right, so it was just quite good because Randy Orton said, he went, in my, recently I've been catching up on the Undertaker Last Ride documentary and everything else on WWE Network. I've watched Chronicle, Arrival, and then he went, hell, I've even watched Ride Along, and then smirked. So that was quite funny. Apart from that, it was
funny,
just,
innit?
I'm gonna win at Backlash.
Yeah, Randy doesn't care anymore.
It was just the Ride Along comment that was quite funny.
Fair play to Randy. Randy is at that point again where he doesn't have to do it.
It's funny.
Yeah, especially on Twitter and stuff and on everything. But we did have Charlotte Flair. So I was watching this live and I openly sighed when she appeared because I was like, I just can't be asked to see her again. I know she's a great wrestler, but like, give it a break. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, it was Charlotte Flair defeated Asuka by count out because Nia Jax basically ran in and not distressed up as Asuka. She had a face mask and then the face paint as Asuka. Basically, it led to Asuka getting herself counted out, and then Nia Jax attacked Asuka after the match had finished. Again, I don't think this is needed.
I really didn't like the whole thing of Asuka's music plays. Nia Jax is wearing the mask and she's got the face paint. Like that's like the Cardinals thing. Like, oh my, how could she do? How dare she have the nerve to do something?
Why would Asuka be shocked?
Just a mask and a bit of face paint, and immediately
Asuka knew she was out. She was in the ring.
Immediately, the fact it's Nia Jax doing it, like she just looks like she don't care about like she just. There's no emotion. Like in a match with Kairi Sane, I was watching when Kairi was laying in some kicks. Nia Jax doesn't sell.
I'm very open. We're not fans of Nia Jax, but I can't.
Yeah, we don't want to hate on someone just for the sake of it.
With every women's roster, I can think of I nearly said a redeeming quality about them, but Yeah, I know. But I was trying to think of a way to phrase it. I think,
Yeah,
in fairness, like,
there's positive. You can see positives in like every single member of the roster, and
good
there is.
players. I'm just going to go
Like,
current.
I know
Smack.
you're not. I know you're not a Natalia fan, but Natalia does have.
Yeah,
But
she is that person that they can rely on. So I'm just going through. Asuka, incredible. Like, you can't say much. Again, same with Becca. Bianca, an absolute incredible athlete who has got that natural charisma. Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, understandable. The most entertaining thing on the roster. Charlotte Flair, one of the best women's wrestlers, regardless of her position. JoJo, great ring announcer. Lana, at the end of the day, maybe not the best wrestler, but a good manager and character. Kyra, an amazing wrestler. Liv Morgan, a slow and up and comer good wrestler. Natalia is that legacy person on the roster. Peyton Royce, Renee Young, I don't know why I counted her. Then you got Ruby Riott, again, another great wrestler who's underestimated. Selena Vega, a great manager and decent wrestler. Nia Jax, she should be. When I say Nia Jax, she should be one of the best heels on the roster. She's scary. She looks like you don't want to be in the ring with her. But yet, I've got nothing to say.
Part of it's not her fault. She was called up too early, but then you'd think that she might have shown a few signs of improvement over the years. But
Yeah,
I don't want to rag too much.
same. But anyway, we'll go to the main event. Cheer ourselves up. Drew
Yes,
McIntyre defeated
5
MVP.
minute on main event.
So yeah, the main event. Drew McIntyre defeated MVP. And then this was the thing. Normal match happened. Lana came out, and then hit a Claymore 1, 2, 3. And as soon as the bell rang, Lashley ran and hit a full Nelson.
He applied it.
He applied. And then what's it called? That's how the show ended.
And that's it. Like the symbol in the bottom right goes up, fade to black.
It was apparently on Raw Talk. They said that McIntyre did not pass out or tap out before officials separate the competitors.
I never thought about that because like they did Raw Talk in the ring, and I didn't think about that. But,
apparently they noted that he didn't pass out or tap out. So, main episode of Raw. What happened in the main event and 205 Live?
Don't forget NXT UK.
Okay,
because NXT UK this week was actually really worth watching. That's not just me being an advocate for it. Right, so it was unseen matches.
Oh, cool.
Right, you ready for these? So we kick things off. Finn Balor versus Kenny Williams.
Okay, that's really good.
Rhea Ripley versus Nina Samuels.
Okay.
All right. Travis Banks versus Killian Dane.
Oh.
And, are you ready for the main event?
Go on.
Matt Riddle and the Street Profits.
Great, already.
Riddle Young Veterans and Joseph Connors in Plymouth.
Okay.
And it was such a house show match. It was so fun. It was great. Really good episode of NXT UK. 205 Live. Tony Nese defeated Tyler Breeze. And Tahuti Miles defeated Danny Burch. Tahuti Miles first win in WWE.
Yeah, that didn't click. Because on NXT they were hyping up Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan, and they had like their own thing where they were in a pub drinking water.
Yeah, no, Tahuti Miles. He had feet on. No, I think he had the Tahuti Miles had the tides. But he still got a 7.5 minute win over Danny Burch in the main event.
Oh, very strange.
That was unexpected. And on main event we had former WWE champion Jinder Mahal defeat Denzel Dejanay.
Oh yeah, I realised Mahal went on Raw.
And in the main event it was Bianca Belair beating Ruby Riott.
Oh right, okay.
So basically, you don't need to watch main event in 205, but NXT UK you very much do.
All right, I'll give it.
That main event was a blast.
Normally we'd never have something, but for the main event, I was watching NXT. No, what was I watching? Last night on Raw, there was an advertisement. And I was thinking, what has been your personal favourite? So for the main event, what has been your personal favourite NXT takeover? And we'll see if we've got the same one.
All right, well, say it on 3.
Right, 3, 2, 1. NXT takeover New Orleans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when I was doing, I was like, we're going to choose the same one. But I've got the card here loaded up.
I think on consensus, it's the most popular one that most
it had
people.
everything.
Yeah.
So I've got the card loaded. So you had first of all, Kairi Sane defeated Lacey Evans. I think that was Kairi Sane's first match. But yeah, you had Kairi Sane. I'm just trying to think.
Have you seen what one of the dark matches was?
Oh, is that what it was?
No, but just one of the dark matches that they put on NXT the week after from that show was Heavy Machinery versus
Right, yeah.
Riddick Moss and Tino Sabatelli.
Okay, yeah, I think these two were dark matches then, because they've got an N next
Yeah.
to the name. Yeah, all right, sorry. So you had Kairi Sane,
Great.
Lacey Evans, then Heavy Machinery versus Riddick Moss and Tino. That match. But if you look at the main show, it's great. So the show started off with Adam Cole defeating EC3, Killian Dane, Lars, Ricochet, and Velveteen in the ladder match. I watched this ladder match the other day. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite NXT matches.
I don't like to go back and watch things twice because I like to have the lasting memory of seeing it for the first time.
Okay,
But it was really good.
It was. I was watching. I was just like, Jesus, that it was fun.
It was EC3's debut match, wasn't it?
Oh, could it be? Was it? I'm just looking now. It doesn't say. I can't say anything, but like I had everything like Ricochet about to win that maiden title, then Adam Cole just stealing it away from him. Amazing. He's all bruised up and everything for later on. Then you had a completely different match. You had sort of a slow submission type match with Shayna Baszler defeating Ember Moon by technical submission. It was sort of the era of Shayna is on a roll, like a domination now. Yeah, and Ember was at that point getting called up, and she had done everything in NXT that she had to, and she put Shayna over like hell. She hit the Eclipse.
Yeah.
She went to the Eclipse and Baszler caught her. Then you had the tag team match. So Adam Cole is obviously all bruised up. And then the era defeat AOP and Pete Dunne and Roddy Strong because of when you add Roddy Strong to the Undisputed Era. So this is what made it. It was re-showing, hyping up Undisputed Era. And I was like, genuine one of my favourite ever turns on NXT TV. Just because you just presumed that nothing was going to happen. Like Dunne and Strong with just this makeshift tag team. They weren't going to win, but it was going to be a respect thing. And then it's just that when he hit him with it, and then he lets Kyle O'Reilly cover, he takes Adam Cole's band, puts it on himself, and like it was just perfect in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm just looking back at seeing if there's any others, because I'm thinking of my favourite matches, but like apart from obviously every NXT takeover is really good, but from apart there's lots of shows that for me have one exceptional match, but New Orleans is the only one that has that from top to bottom was just perfect.
Yeah,
really.
It's mental. Like Aleister Black defeated Andrade, and then Gargano champion the unsanctioned match. Like everything about the show was correct. Like I don't think you could find a more perfect show.
I know it doesn't count as much, but NXT UK Takeover Cardiff, last year, probably pushes it close.
Very close.
Cesaro versus Ilya Dragunov. You had that triple threat ladder match. You had Walter versus Tyler Bate in what was maybe my match of the year.
Yeah, it was great. It was one of the really only NXT UK matches I watched.
Oh, you're missing out.
You know what? Some of the War Games matches as well.
Yeah, the first War Games were the best.
Was that the one? Yeah, Sanity, AOP. Yeah, that was before. Yeah, that was before Roddy Strong turned because Roddy Strong was with AOP. Forgot about that.
Yeah, I remember.
But I'm just scrolling through. There's a list of all the NXT ones, and you look at the main events, and it's just mental that at one point, like the first three, Neville was in all of them. in the first, and then you had Sami Zayn, who was in 4 of them. Then KO, who were in 2. Then you had that famous Bailey Sasha 30-minute Iron Man match. Then Finn.
That feels like a completely different era of wrestling done at the Full Sail takeovers.
It's mental, innit? Then you had Finn.
It feels like so long ago.
Then you had Finn and Joe, who did 3, especially. I forgot about NXT Takeover London.
Yeah.
Then I'm just going through. Then you had Joe and Shinsuke did 2. Shinsuke and Rude did 2. Then you had War Games. Then you had Rude Drew. Like, you had so. I'm looking, but like, there's always a linear sequence. So it's normally like one of the people who are in the previous one are in the next one, unless it's a War Games. Like Rude Nakamura, then it was Rude McIntyre. Wait, McIntyre never main evented a NXT Takeover after that.
Yeah, he really wasn't there for long.
I think it's also because because Andrade, Johnny Gargano, then it was Gargano, Ciampa for all of them.
Yeah, he was
so long.
Yeah, but he was there for such little time.
And then you had War Games, the most recent one, Ciampa, Lee, Dijakovic, and Owens versus Undisputed. It's just meant how Takeover can provide so many great pay-per-views.
Yeah, they are. I say they're the standards for wrestling, although AEW are pushing it very close.
Yeah,
but in these empty arena times where we're moving towards more cinematic matches, and I say NXT needs to adapt, but that's not really NXT's thing.
No.
I mean, they've done one cinematic match with Gargano versus Ciampa, and I know you loved it, and I know lots of people loved it.
I rewatched it.
I fell on the side of very boring.
Yeah, I rewatched it. It didn't work as well as I thought it did.
Yeah, it's
not great. But that was our review. Let us know in the comments what you think. Was NXT Takeover New Orleans the best? If you have any other ones, let us know. But we have been the Wrestling Corner episode 17 on the Sports Corner YouTube channel. It's not just wrestling podcasts we do on a Tuesday. It's also on Wednesday we do the Top Corner football podcast with obviously a lot of football returning soon. We've got all that to talk about. On the Fridays we have the NFL Corner. Last week they reviewed the AFC South. I'm guessing they'll be doing another divisional review because there's a couple more left. And then on Saturdays, tune in at 2:30 where we do live reactions to all the Bundesliga games. We'll provide our own commentary. We'll give you all the latest updates. Obviously, we can't show the games, but if you can't tune into the proper games, we're there for you. We'll give you all the up-to-dates, all the goals, and everything like that. We've got some big games this week. I think Leverkusen Munich is the big one. But thank you very much for Simon for joining me.
Yeah, it's been a lot. I'm surprised we had so much to talk about.
I know. Considering at the start, it was like, there's not much to talk about, but it might be a short one. But obviously, next week we're reviewing Takeover in your house. Could be a good pay-per-view. Could be.
Could be. I'm not going to say will be. I'm
hoping the layout could be fun. That's what I'm all looking for, like the stage design and stuff.
Yeah, it's all about the stage design and really how do the performance center trainees add much to the show, or are they going to be like robots?
I hope they change it. I really do.
It's going to be an interesting one.
And Viva La Drake hopefully wins the title tomorrow.
Oh, is that? I mean, yeah,
I think it's tomorrow.
Quite possibly. I mean, as in terms of my NXT watching, he's not even won the triple threat yet. So.
Oh yeah, I forgot Euros week behind, but yeah, hopefully Drake can do it. But thank you very much for watching Wrestling Corner episode number 17. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, theathletic.co.uk/thesportscorner.